So marketing. Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Noel of Soaring High Marketing Podcast coming back to you with an exciting new episode. I love to expand and talk to you guys about marketing. I think marketing is crucial, it's essential for every business because marketing is what's going to help you and your business get out of obscurity. The reason why most businesses fail isn't because of lack of funding, isn't because their service or their product is bad, is because of obscurity. Not enough people know who you are and what you do in order to transact with you. You don't make enough contacts, you don't get seen, you don't get heard, you get forgotten, and you don't have enough of your services or your products being sold at high enough margins in order to get revenue for your business. So marketing, advertising, our marketing system is what's going to help you get out of obscurity, to be found, to be seen, to be heard, to be found online. Everything is changing in the online game. You want to make sure you partner with the right marketing agency that's going to be at your side to help you get visibility, get searchability, drive traffic, generate leads, and then convert those leads for you. And that's a great thing about what we do is that we build that system for you. Because getting into the topic, today's topic is about marketing is multi-dimensional. It's not one dimensional. Marketing is multi-dimensional. There's different stages and different phases of marketing, and growth is multi-dimensional. So marketing is the one thing, as I always say, marketing is a series of things that work together in order to, move the needle, which is helping you get seen, get heard, create interest, get attention, and then get a prospect or a lead. And then from there, be able to nurture and convert those leads into sales, into revenue for your business. So marketing isn't just about having a website. It's not just about running some Facebook ads. It isn't just about trying to post content on Instagram. No, marketing is multi-dimensional. It's about the lead life cycle, from the first click to long-term retention and ascension. These are different, terms, concepts, I've been able to develop over the years when it comes to lead. We all talk about lead generation, but there's lead generation, as we're going to see in today's episode. There's lead generation, there's lead nurture, lead conversion, lead ascension, and lead retention. So in this episode, I'm going to break down the full system we install for businesses here at Soaring High Marketing and showing you guys that real growth comes from managing every stage of the lead flow. At the end of the day, it's about follow the flow. You need lead flow leads you to your deal flow leads you to your cash flow. You want to get to the cash, you want to get to the revenue, you got to get more leads in the pipeline. As you get more leads into the funnel, then you need more deals in the pipeline, and then you can go ahead and get more cash flow into your bank account. So that's how it works. It's lead flow, deal flow, cash flow. So you got to follow the flow. Where are you at in the process with that prospect, with that lead? So marketing is not one dimensional, is not one singular thing that you do, but it's a series of things that work together in a full system in order to get you attention, in order to get you into lead flow coming into your business. So most businesses think marketing means run ads and we get leads. But that's like thinking that fitness is just about going to the gym and running on the treadmill. Obviously, when you go to the gym, there's multiple things that you can do, from treadmill to cycling to all the different weight equipment, all the different areas that you can target on your body. All of them have different exercises to do depending on what is your fitness goals, what is that you're trying to achieve. How much weight are you trying to lose? Are you trying to get fit? Are you trying to bulk? Are you trying to cut? Are you trying to, get healthier? What is it exactly that you're trying to build up? You want more arms? You want more core? You want more glutes? Depending on what your goals are, then that's how you got to craft the right workout plan for your body and also for the goals that you want to have. So marketing has many stages, it has many faces, it has layers. There's many different layers and levels to this marketing game. And if you ignore one stage, then that's where revenue leaks happen. When you ignore one of the stages in the marketing game, then that's where revenue leaks take place. They happen, they occur. So that's why with our system, we cover the whole shebang to ensure that revenue leaks don't happen in your business. So the first thing I want to cover is about lead generation, because that's the entry point. We need leads for our business. We want to make more money. We want to have more appointments. We got to get more leads into the funnel. Marketing starts with the lead flow. And this is the top of the funnel. And this is how we generate attention and interest. And we have different services within the system that helps you generate leads. For obviously having an optimized SEO website, having website content on there with our SEO optimized blogs. You want to make sure that you're found on Google and also found on the AI search engines as well. You want to make sure you have content on all the social media platforms. You want to be running paid ads, running ads on Facebook, Instagram, Google, YouTube, TikTok. You want to be making sure that you're running retargeting ads. So you appear on all these different other sites, all these other Google display network. You want to make sure then those traffic from those leads are getting sent to a specific funnel or landing page that we optimize, to ensure that we have a clear offer, clear messaging, a clear call to action, and the next step that you want that prospect to take, and then of course we followed up with having AI response system and marketing automations to ensure then we get the leads into the funnel and down the pipeline. So traffic without conversion is wasted money. And that's why landing pages must have a clear message, a clear offer, clear call to action, fast loading design, and authority signals. So traffic without conversion is wasted money. If you can run all the ads you want, but then that's why when people tell me ads don't work, Facebook ads don't work, I tried it, been there, done that, but you got to take a look into what was the messaging of the ad, what was the creative of the ad. From then, where did you drive traffic to the ad? Where was that traffic going to? Most people send it back to the website. That's a big red flag. That's a big no-no. Of course, it's not going to work because then you're sending them to a place that they have so many different options. And when people search online or they click an ad, is one specific call to action, one specific offer that you make on there. Because remember, as I shared in prior podcast, confusion, it creates hesitancy, creates a buyer to be hesitant for making it. It creates confusion, having too many options, not knowing exactly the information that I want. They're searching, for whatever service or product it is that they're looking for, so they want clarity. So you want to have a clear message, clear call to action. So when you're running ads, you want to then look at the creative, the messaging, where are you driving traffic to? What's on the landing page? Do you have any case studies, before and afters? Do you have testimonials, reviews on there? Do you have the information that they're looking for that's going to be the right ad sales copy to ensure that that's going to lead to the conversion? Do you have the buttons working properly? Images is the checkout page, is the booking link working? There's so many different things they got to look at when you're running ads that you can't blatantly just say ads don't work. I tried it, because then again, then you got to go back to the drawing board. Is it the creative? Is it the messaging? Is it targeting? Going back to the beginning, as I came back to drawing board, who is ideal audience? Who is this for? So when you define your client avatar, then that's how you can create the messaging and then create the offer for that avatar. Because every client avatar, every customer that you want, isn't going to fit into the same bucket. If you're a med spa and you're looking to get more professionals, are you trying to get to more mothers? Are you trying to get younger crowd, older crowd? Are you looking what service is it that you're offering? Who's going to be the one that buys more of it, that benefits more of? What are their things that they're looking for, when they're coming in for Botox or for a facial, for body contouring? What exactly are they in that, wellness journey, that aesthetics journey? What are the pros and cons? What are the doubts, the fears that they have, when it comes to it? They want to see before and after transformations, stuff like that. It kind of comes into play that it's just not, okay, I ran a Facebook ad and nothing happened. And then from there, optimizing it from the targeting, demographics, content, creative, and then also how much did you actually invest into the ad campaign? When you're running ads, we have an idea of how many leads it should more or less generate. It can be, plus or minus, depending how good the creative, the offer, the landing page is. So there's so many different things that go into it. So if you're just trying to do it yourself, if you're just trying to watch a YouTube video, just trying to, get into the workshop and say, okay, let me try to do it on my own, it's not going to work because the algorithm is always changing. This past year with Facebook, with Meta, they had to change with Andromeda that changed the way creatives, the way messaging, the way ads are being run. So if you're just learning about the old school way of running ads, and then you want to try and jump in now and try to do the same exact way, it's not going to work. And now with AI, it's just accelerating the changes. The algorithms are just always improving. So you want to make sure you have a marketing partner in your on your side, in your corner, that's going to be looking out for your best interest, that's going to be on top of mind of all these different changes that are occurring in order to see your, well-being, to make sure that you benefit out of this. Because again, like I said, we're not here trying to make a one-time retainer off of you, have you try marketing for a month or two and then be gone. No, we want clients for life. We want clients that want to build, grow, scale into multiple locations, multiple areas, states. So we're thinking long term. We're crafting, our onboarding our clients. We want to know what the long game is with them. And of course, marketing takes time. It's about having consistency, it's about having frequency. You got to let time for these campaigns, for your messaging, for your content to be out there in the marketplace in order for it to generate results for you. So going back, so traffic without conversion is wasted money. If you're getting, I shared in the earlier podcast, people look at vanity metrics just like clicks. Clicks can be a vanity metric, just like likes and followers, because if it doesn't lead to an actual conversation, a DM, a booked appointment, then purpose is it really serving? If it's just for your ego with likes and followers and it's not generating any business, that's what you're gonna say marketing on social media doesn't work, because you're not putting the right messaging, the right content out there that's going to lead to a conversion, that's going to lead to a conversation, and then conversation leads to conversion. So, if you're running ads and you're getting traffic, you're getting clicks, but those clicks aren't booking appointments, aren't actually turning into revenue for you, then what good is it doing? So that's why I want to make sure that when running ads, when running content, we want to have the end in mind to see who is this content being created for? What's the messaging behind it? What's the call to action? Where am I driving then that traffic down to what funnel? And then landing pages, clear offers, clear call to actions, clear messaging in order to get conversions, because confusion, it doesn't lead to conversions. So the first aspect of the marketing game that we focus on is lead generation, making sure that we're generating leads for your business, for your practice, for your clinic, to ensure that we get the phones ringing, the appointments being filled with clients for appointments or consultations. So once we generate the lead, that's the first stage of marketing. The next stage is lead nurture. This is where most businesses fail, because once the lead comes into your funnel, comes into your ecosystem, what happens next? Most businesses, unfortunately, they respond late to the lead. Sometimes they don't even call back the lead. They don't even answer the lead's message. They forget to follow up. They lose the lead. They wrote it down somewhere and they forgot where they put it. They follow up a week later. They have no system, no triggers, no automations, no AI in order to respond to the lead in real time to ensure that if they hit up your website, if they hit up your landing page, they saw you click your ad, what can we do for you? How can we help you? What information are you looking for? How can we get AI to connect, create the conversation, and then start asking qualifying questions to move that lead, down the funnel for you? So that's why we have our AI lead response system. Instantly sends out a text message, instantly replies via email. We have automated, appointment booking. And of course, at the end of the day, we always have follow-up reminders to ensure that that appointment is not only set, but is actually confirmed and gets, actually takes place, on the calendar, on the schedule. Because online, speed equals money. They say time is money, so time you respond, that speed, that equals the money. So marketing automation ensures that every lead gets touched, no one falls through the cracks, and communication stays consistent. And this is the second phase of marketing. Because again, our job is to generate the leads for you. But then we got to nurture the leads because not all the leads are going to buy then and there. Some of these, practices that we work with, whether it's a med spa, a clinic, they're going to want to have a consultation, maybe a follow-up. Maybe they're just in the beginning stage of the process, is trying to gather information, trying to learn about the procedure, you know, calling two or three to get, pricing. They don't want to think about it. They got to talk to somebody else. They need, financing or funding for your services. So there's many different things that, people just want to, the one and done lead comes in, boom, unless you're selling something unless you're like a physical product, like an e-com store, maybe a restaurant, maybe an online ordering, unless you're a business like that, where the sale has a quicker turnaround time. Most businesses that we deal with, service-based industries, whether it be healthcare, aesthetics, home services, there's something that we call, the sales cycle. There's a marketing cycle, business cycle, but then there's a sales cycle. Okay, once the lead comes in, you gotta meet with them. You gotta give them our case, we gotta do a discovery call. We gotta audit your business. We gotta jump into a strategy session. We gotta give you a proposal, and then we gotta, try to close a deal. We don't close, then we gotta follow up. And that's the part where most businesses fail, is that they spend a lot on the front end with marketing and advertising to fill the top of the funnel, but then they have no follow-up system, they have no nurture system for the leads that they generate in order to ensure that they convert. Because sales is a numbers game, and sales is hardly ever done on the first or even second call or first or second meeting. Sometimes, it requires 8 to 12 touches. And even now with all this spam blocking on our phones, that goes up to maybe 14, 16 touches in order for people to respond back. And the good thing, like I said, marketing is multi-dimensional. So as I was speaking with a prospect earlier today, is that you can have a list of clients, a list of your target audience, and then we can go ahead and contact them multiple channels. We want to do face-to-face visits, personal visits to that client. You want to send something in the mail, direct mail. You want to give them a phone call, try to book an appointment that way. You want to send them an email. You want to send them a DM, whether on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. You want to also go on through their website. This is one thing that most businesses don't do, is that you go on a website. Again, maybe your clients don't have websites, but one way to target, if you're doing B2B, is that you go to their website and you fill out a form on their website, and then you can see how fast do they respond. Doesn't have to be spammy, you don't have to be salesy. Just put in your information and see how fast that lead, that company contacts you back. So if you have an ideal audience list, if you're doing B2B, you got to hit on multiple sites, multiple angles, be multi-dimensional with your marketing. And the flip side too, if you have a database, if you have a list of contacts of past clients, your database, then you can upload that list to Meta. Then you can try to retarget that specific list with specific ads going back to that list, so they can see your ads all around social and other websites. And you can also then use that list, create what's called a lookalike audience. So then Meta tries to find people that is just like that list, whether they're actually clients of yours or if they're just old leads that were interested at one point in your services or your products, to then create a lookalike audience. So then Meta tries to find people that match the people that already bought from you, so we can find more people like them online. So that's the power, which I'll get into later, about having a CRM, having a database of clients, is then you can then leverage that to retarget and then create lookalike audiences to run new ad campaigns to that audience. So again, retargeting can also retargeting ads. It's also a way to then nurture. You run ads on the front end to bring in leads into the funnel, but then you run retargeting ads to then nurture and then have those ads and your content convert the leads that you're generating. So again, that's what I'm saying. Marketing is multi-dimensional. There's marketing on the front end, there's marketing in the middle, and there's marketing in the back end, and then the back end, there's marketing as well. So in all stages of the lead life cycle, there's going to be marketing that comes into play. So you want to make sure you're on point, you hit every stage, every facet, every dimension, so that way you stay top of mind and you do not let leads or revenue have no leaks in your revenue system. So that's where most businesses fail, is no follow-up system, and they don't nurture the leads that we generate for them. So then we are able to lead generate, we lead nurture, and then comes down to lead conversion, actually turning attention into revenue. Because leads don't make you money. What actually makes you money is converting those leads. So conversions lead to revenue. So that's when we move into actually having a sales process in place. Because we can generate other leads for you, but if you have no sales process, if you have no follow-up system in place to then convert those leads, then that's when people say the leads are weak, the leads suck, ads don't work, marketing doesn't work, is because what marketing and ads is gonna amplify is if you have a system in place. Because they were filling the top of the funnel with leads, and then they're just falling out of the funnel because no one's reaching out, no one's responding. You're trying to do a one call close. You're not setting up any type of follow up consultation or meeting with the prospect. Then leads are gonna fall by the wayside. So we want to make sure that our marketing can then be used in place to convert them, because as I shared earlier, they can be in the beginning stage of the buying process. They want to just gather information. So that's why you can send out, emails. Regarding to what you spoke about, you can send them content, whether you create a reel or a post, and maybe a blog post about whatever topic it is that they're wanting more information. For example, a med spa, if someone wants to, you know, is interested into body contouring, they may have questions, they may have different things that they want to know about before doing the procedure. So you can send them maybe a blog that you wrote about the guide, to body sculpting, body contouring, the do's and don'ts of it, who is it better suited for, who is not suited for, so then you start using your content to then go ahead and nurture them and convert them. Because most of the time, in marketing, we always say organic. First, start with organic marketing, creating content online. Depending on the content, the response and the engagement from the content, then you can start seeing how people interact, how they engage with it. And then once you have that data, then you can go ahead and then run ads behind the best performing content that you have. Because is done well organically. So now you put marketing dollars, media dollars behind that content in order to generate more leads, because there's different type of leads that you can generate. Ads you can run either to drive traffic back to your profile, traffic to your website, traffic to a landing page, get more views on a video, get a ad to have them fill out a form. So then, let your organic content lead you to your paid ads. That's why we always combine local SEO with Google ads, because then that way we can hit Google from both sides. The organic traffic plus the paid traffic, or if any social platform, you create content on Instagram and Facebook, you post there online, and then you start running ads on Meta, Facebook ads, Instagram ads. So then you start using that content to then run ads, and then vice versa. If you run ads and then people see your ads, you're breaking out of obscurity, you're doing a pattern interrupt, you're getting in front of them, and then they start going to your page, they start checking you out, and then you've got content on there saying, okay, this person's consistent, this person is posting about different things that I like, this guy's explaining the process, the ins and outs of it, do's and don'ts. They start having your content be what's going to be able to then nurture them and convert them. Because once people consume, I think the average is about 15 hours of your content, they're most likely going to transact with you. Okay, what else can I do with this person? Are they sending a book? Do they have a course? Do they have, a live event that they're doing? What exactly it is that, that they have to offer, after seeing you with retargeting, helping you become omnipresent, with our marketing system. Then they see you everywhere. They click an ad, they check out your website, then they see you on some other site. They see you, on Instagram, they see you on YouTube, they see you on so many different other platforms with different types of content. So all of that can be nurturing and can lead to convert them. So that's why marketing is so crucial for every stage of the lead. Because again, like I said, you got to generate it, then you got to nurture it, and then you got to convert it. So let your content and your retargeting ads go ahead and nurture and convert those leads for you. And then always powering with AI that can actually reach out and do the follow up for you as well. So when we talk about lead conversion, this is where it falls along. And you need marketing for that, because you got to be sending out emails, sending out text messages, you got to be creating content, you got to be running ads, you got to be driving traffic, so there's so many different things, so many different components. That's why I said that marketing is multi-dimensional. So the goal is simple. We move the lead from interest into transaction. So by nurturing with their content and with the ads, and this is a completely different type of marketing than lead generation, because now we already know what they're interested in. We know what they want. If we're able to actually have a call with them or consultation with them, then we know exactly what content, what blogs, what information to send them and keep nurturing them until they convert. And then one little known thing that I like to get into that not a lot of businesses, think about, but it's about lead ascension, is how do we increase the customer value? This is where most businesses leave money on the table because, they just want to do the one-off sale. They don't think about how can then once I get the lead into my funnel, into my ecosystem, is then how can I then upsell them into other things? They came in for one thing, but how they walk out of here with 10 different things. Like a grocery store, you go in there for the milk, and next thing you know, you're going out there with, you got bread, you got eggs, you've got some chicken, you got some meat, you came in for a little basket. Next thing, I mean, yeah, a little hand basket. Next thing you know, you actually pull out the shopping cart, and then you full out and get groceries for the whole week. So what started out as only one item you're coming in for, you start leaving with 10 and 20 items. And this is great for service industries, for clinics, med spas, this is what we call, having different cross sells or upsells, or having a bundle. You start bundling your different services. Okay, you body contouring, let's add a facial, let's add in a massage, let's add some Botox. What else can we combine it with that's going to help them? So, that's going to help them, and that they can keep and have them keep coming back into the practice. Or what other services can we combine with it? Maybe they need weight loss, a weight loss program where they can then combine it with body contouring, because as they're losing weight, that they need to tighten the skin, they need to firm the skin. So then our body contouring is going to be able to sculpt, tighten, smooth out the saggy, skin that they've been losing. So when it comes to lead ascension, how do we increase the customer value, the lifetime value of that lead? Do we have any upsells? Maybe, we have another package, another thing that we can offer. Do we have any cross sells, other similar services that can go great? Because the great thing is that I learned in sales that the second sale is easier than the first sale, because the second sale, it validates the first sale. So if people bought a book, okay, I got a book, but I got this course, but okay, now I need to buy, whether it be a workbook, a training manual, this other thing, this other video series, because it's going to confirm the first purchase that I made. Okay, I'm scared about getting into this weight loss program, but I'm going to be coming in here as well to um do body contouring, or I come in for a facial, I come in for massage as well. Once I'm able to relax and stuff like that. So the idea is that the first sale, then the second sale is going to be easier because it's going to be able to validate the first sale. So because they first came in for one thing, they can buy the second thing because the second thing is going to validate that. I came in for a gym membership, and I started leaving, with some swag from the place. I also have, a water bottle. I've got, some hand gloves, workout gloves. I got a towel as well. Oyster Fitness, they have the little heart monitor you put on your arm and or whatnot. So okay, now this is gonna help support me coming into the gym every single, day, week, in and out, to be able to perform, keep track of my results, keep track of my workout for the day, you know, and that's gonna be help to validate my first stage of, buying the membership, buying, you know, joining the gym. This helps validate it, because now I got to come to class, got to show up, got to put in the work in. So these are just examples, of like upsells, cross sells, bundles, memberships. There's VIP programs you can have, loyalty programs. Maybe you have seasonal promotions. So all of these different things that is then you can increase it. But then you have content, you have email marketing campaigns that talk about these different things. So then once you have the lead come in, you have the lead come in, they become a client, then the question is, and how do you, get them to buy more stuff of what it is that you're selling, and how you keep them buying more stuff, month after month, week after week, day after day. So that's the concept. That's the idea is, okay, how do we get more out of just the one lead that we're generating? Because then again, it's going to be able to then get more revenue. You're able to increase, each client that comes in, I can make X amount out of them rather than just kind of like a one-time sale or maybe a high ticket item that you're selling. So Ascension marketing increases lifetime value, average order value, and then revenue per customer. Another metric most businesses don't measure is what's my revenue per customer? I get them in for one thing. How can I get them to just buy more things from me? So marketing doesn't stop at the first sale. It only expands the relationship. So then that's when we have content, email marketing, SMS marketing to make sure that we stay top of mind and then see, how can we squeeze all the juice, out of the lemon in order, to make lemonade, in order to get everything out of it so we can keep, being of value to them. So that ties into lead retention. Lead retention is just staying top of mind. Retention is the most ignored face of marketing because unless people don't know it, but it's actually cheaper to keep a customer than acquire a new one. Let me say that again. Retention is the most ignored face of marketing. It's cheaper to keep a customer than acquire a new one. One of the stats metrics that we measure in marketing is what's my cost per acquisition of a new client. And then we measure what's the lifetime value, what's the revenue per customer. Is in metrics at another level is, okay, how do we expand more? How do we not just get them to buy more stuff, not just buy a higher ticket, but how do we get them to buy more regularly? In the case of a med spa, let's say it's a massage or facials, services that need be coming in, maybe on a weekly or bi-weekly basis, because they want to come relax, they want to get glowed up for the weekend, just to name a couple of examples. But retention marketing, that's going to be key because again, you can create loyalty programs. If you buy, you know, um, five of these products, you get one free, four for five. You have different bundles, different specials, different stuff like that. But this is where the CRM is going to be crucial because this is going to be the engine, where you keep your database, your clients, your old clients, your past clients, your old leads, your leads that we're generating into one hub. From that one hub, we're then able to incorporate and integrate marketing automations, email campaigns, SMS reminders, different things that we can, trigger, in order to make sure that we stay top of mind because you paid, you invested on the front end to get in their mind. Now you got to make sure that you stay on top of their mind. You stay top of mind. You got to get in their mind. You got to stay top of mind. So, that's when retention includes, having a CRM, database management, having maybe a monthly email newsletter, having SMS updates. And this is where you can get more creative, having maybe birthday campaigns to that person, send them a special birthday wish and a special promotion or discount to come back in. You can have a loyalty promotion, and this is where we can then request reviews, both written and video. We can also do case studies of the clients before and afters. We can then also ask for our clients, to retain them, also to give us referrals. This is how we then start leading to other forms of marketing, referral marketing to be able to then, how do we then leverage that one client to get more, more clients? Because then your own clients can start being your own salespeople because then they start talking about you. They start sharing their results with their friends or family members. They start posting, maybe, at your office or in your business or using your product, whatever it is, so you want to be able to leverage to retain those clients by staying top of mind of them. But then we want to make sure that we're getting, follows on social. We're getting reviews from them. We're getting, referrals from them. So then we're leveraging that one client, not only to, get more out of them, creating more lifetime value, but then also shifting them to then have them be marketing content for us as well. That's one thing I was sharing with a contractor who told me, look, man, I'm very busy for the up until I think the third quarter of this year. But I said, look, in the meantime, your marketing may not be for lead generation. It can be for lead retention. It can be for lead ascension, because now that you're doing these big high-end projects, maybe you can't take on these little small projects, but number one, you can refer them out to other contractors, still get a kickback, referral fee. Two, the products that you are doing, we got to document it. We got to get before and afters. We got to talk about the process. We got to be able to get content, photos, videos of it, testimonials, case studies. So then when we are ready to do marketing for lead generation marketing, we can then go ahead and use already that content, those videos, those graphics, those images into our campaigns, into our content, into our paid ads, so depending where you are, you got to always be marketing, either marketing to get new clients, marketing to stay in front of the ones you have, marketing to retain them, or marketing to be able to get more money out of them in the sense of selling them goods and services that they need that complement whatever it is that they first, purchase from you, so we can install nurturing campaigns in the CRM, to old clients, old leads, inactive. We can then do a side note, reactivation marketing. If you have a list of old leads, we can send them emails, special offers, do retargeting to them in order to reactivate them. So that's just another side note, reactivation marketing, to old dead leads that, have been, laid at the wayside, so are you constantly reaching out to your database, having a reason to reach out, having a reason to follow up, having a reason, to stay top of mind. You need, that, and that's where marketing is going to come into play, because marketing is just going to help you get creative. Creativity is going to flow from your marketing and your advertising and say, okay, what can I move? What can I create? What can I, use as leverage to go ahead and generate, nurture, reactivate, retain, or ascend the leads that I have. So all of this is, in a nutshell, marketing as a system. It's not about posting randomly. It's not just about trying to do ads, but it's about having a full system that touches the full lead cycle, from generating, nurturing, converting, ascending, and retaining. All that tracked, measured, inside of CRM. We automate where it's possible. And of course, we're always optimizing every stage, every campaign, every, strategy that we're doing, always optimizing to ensure that, we're always being effective with our marketing. And that's the beauty of digital marketing today, is that everything is measurable. We track lead source, cost per lead, conversion rates, appointment rates, and revenue generated. So the great thing is that it has the data, it's got the analytics. We can take a look at it and see exactly how can we make it perform best. So the data helps us improve landing pages, improve ads, improve our follow-up, improve our offers. And that's how marketing becomes predictable. And you can be able to predict the amount of leads and the amount of revenue your business is going to generate month in and month out. So what makes this possible isn't that we just generate leads, but we install an entire lead flow system into your business, from creating the content, running the ads, creating the landing pages, installing the AI integration, having CRM automation, booking appointments, and having nurturing and retaining campaigns in place, so we can handle the entire journey for you, for your business, so no lead gets left behind and no opportunity falls by the wayside. There's no revenue leaks through cracks. So if your marketing focuses only on one stage, you're leaving money on the table. If you want predictable growth, you need a multi-dimensional marketing system. It's not just about having traffic. It's not just about having leads, but having a full life cycle handled strategically of that lead. And that's how you hit revenue goals consistently. So this is what I wanted to share with you guys. I wanted to just dive in deep. It's been on my mind. Again, I just love the concept. I love the topic of marketing and how, it just encompasses so many different things. And, like I said, it covers so many different aspects, because again, there's different phases of marketing, different stages. Maybe you're already booked out. Maybe you don't need more leads. Maybe you got to just nurture, follow up, retain the ones that you do have. But always, I say, even if you're doing that, you gotta always still wanting to be filling up the funnel with new leads. It's about having a balance of generating new leads and then nurturing and following up with old leads. You gotta want to always be doing the 1-2 punch, because you know the leads that you do have, okay, you want to retain them and just stick to referrals, just stick to nurturing them. But life happens, they can have to get relocated. They move out of city, they move out of the state. A death in the family occurs. So many things, different things that happen that, we want to always be filling the top of the funnel with new leads, having lead generation be active. And then again, we can turn it up and down a notch as need be, but we always want to be marketing with having content, having ads, having retargeting, having nurturing sequences in place to be able to then nurture, retain, and ascend our clients. So if you need help with any of these parts of these stages or just want more information, let's definitely connect. Go ahead and just comment the word below marketing system, and I'll be glad to connect with you. But I just want to give you guys a different perspective when it comes to marketing and advertising. That is about the whole full life cycle of a lead. That leads. That's what it comes down to. That's what number one priority of our, of us being entrepreneurs, being business owners is always filling top of the funnel. So then our people, have people to reach out to, have people to sell to, have people to deliver the service of the product to. We can be helping people, with their needs, helping solve problems, helping get happy clients refer more business. So you want to have, marketing encompass all those different stages of the lead flow. So make sure you guys follow the flow, lead flow, deal flow, cash flow, and you need a lead flow system in order to generate, nurture, convert, ascend, and retain. Follow me, guys. Follow me for more tips and tricks here on the marketing game. So make sure you guys hit a like, put a comment down below. What you guys want me to talk about next? And make sure you hit that subscribe button. Definitely hit subscribe, and let's definitely connect and see how we can help you blow up your business here in 2026. Over and out.